All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time to join us on our Stories of Hope. Many of you have been on this call Tuesday after Tuesday without fail. You brought your family and friends, and that's because you find value on these calls. We come here to share our stories, and each of our stories matters. It doesn't matter how small it is or how big it is, because on making health a priority is not an easy thing, because life can get on the way and you mean so well, but you get so busy and then you kind of forget about prioritizing your health. But some of us have found some other easier ways of jumpstarting, giving us an opportunity as a catalyst so we can do better and get on that pedestal, for lack of better words, and find yourself doing better than if you were doing it in a traditional way. So that's what we're here tonight to share about, a powerful opportunity we have found that we can flood our bodies with more than 33 fruits and vegetables, vine ripened, eating the rainbow just in a capsule form. I call it the salad in a capsule. And what we're here to share, what has really been magic for most of us, is putting these plant powders in our bodies. These plant powders here, they are magic. So without further ado, I have two amazing ladies that are going to share. Before they share their story, I would like them to introduce themselves. So let me get started here. Marla, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and how long you've been doing this Juice Plus thing.
Well, my name is Marla, and I have been in the Juice Plus company for 6 years now. And it is a fabulous journey, and I love this community. There is none like it anywhere. I mean, I was completely blown away when I was introduced to this Juice Plus, but the community is out of this world. It is just awesome.
Awesome, Marla. And where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Teaneck, New Jersey.
All right.
So you can do this business from anywhere.
That's right. That's right. Next, Sister Wanda, could you please briefly introduce yourself and tell us where you're tuning in from?
Yes, so I'm Wanda Nichols, and I am in Gainesville, Florida. If you've heard of the University of Florida, that's where I am. And that's that's who I am. Yes.
All right. What do you do outside of Juice Plus? What's your what else?
So my profession, I'm a registered nurse for 30 plus years. And I'm a grandmother, is the most proudest thing. And so, yeah.
Thank you. Marla, I'll ask you the same question. Before you started the Juice Plus, what were you involved in? What was your career in, professional? What did you enjoy doing before you found this amazing community to join?
Well, literally, I have been retired for quite some time. I am a grandmother. I was in the military. Yes, I have a grandson that's 19 and a granddaughter that's 16.
Awesome.
My son is 47.
Wow. Marla, I see you on Saturday night calls, but I didn't know this about you. So, but thank you for your service. I didn't know you served. Thank you for your service. Appreciate that. So let's get to the meat of everything here. Marla, I'm going to start with you. Give us the meat and the juice of this. The first question is this. What was your life like before you were introduced to the plant powders, which is the Juice Plus? The second part of that question is, how did you know about Juice Plus? And then, what is your life now? So that's a three-part question.
Well, part one, my life was a mess. I was literally waiting to expire. I had a 46-inch waist, 250 pounds. I was suffering from COPD, high blood pressure, sugar diabetes. I was on 22 pills a day to stay alive. I literally could walk 2 blocks. Um, 3 steroid pumps. My A1C was out of control. I literally was waiting to expire. And then thank God for a best friend who was actually on the call, Adrian Hicks. She introduced me to Juice Plus. She seen that I was literally struggling, and I had ate myself. I had a sweet tooth, and I like Klondike bars, and I was eating Skittles every day. I had went and bought a case of Skittles, a case of Klondikes, and a case of Mountain Dew, and that was my diet. Literally nothing but sugar. And my blood pressure was 189 over 110, which is stroke mode. So every day I was waiting for the end. And when Adrian told me about Juice Plus, she said, "This will definitely help you." Basically, she told me to order the trio and get a towel garden, and that's what I did. I was literally struggling through life, and once she introduced me to the Juice Plus, it was a game changer. It changed everything. I started eating the Juice Plus. Like I said, I couldn't walk 2 blocks. The one thing she did tell me was to come to conference, and when I went to conference with her, I learned about omegas, that they didn't come from fish, and I also learned about the plant powders that were in the shakes, which we now make smoothies out of. So when I came home from conference, I immediately bought that too and started eating everything Juice Plus had. And once I did that, the entire family started eating off the Tower Garden. My mother started eating the Juice Plus with me, and inside of 7 months, I seen complete change in my body and in everybody that was eating it. I used to suffer from migraine headaches also, didn't have any more of them. I had neuropathy from the sugar, didn't have any more of that. And then once something fabulous happened, inside of a year, I never knew you could come back from COPD. And by adding the fruits and vegetables into my diet and doing the shred with the shakes, I started having to exercise, and the Juice Plus gave me the energy to exercise. And the only exercise I literally could do was to walk. But like I said, I couldn't walk but 2 blocks. But in a year's time, I was able to walk a mile. And in that year's time, I went from a 46-inch waist to a 38-inch waist. My A1C flipped from 8.5 to 5.8. My blood pressure went from 189 over 110 to 110 over 67, and that is a child's blood pressure. And I'm 63. So I had complete change from just adding more fruits and vegetables into my diet and exercising, utilizing the energy that Juice Plus had given me. My body started to shred the garbage that I was putting in. And then and because I was eating off the Tower Garden, I was eating the right things. So the nourishment and the exercise and the consistency turned my complete health problem into a success story, because I now am the poster child for Juice Plus, because I did not know you could come back from COPD. I went to the doctor. I was put on a respiratory rehab list for that year. And at the end of that year, they called me and told me that it was my turn to go to respiratory rehab. Well, lo and behold, if you know anything about anything that has to do with respiratory, you have to be assessed. So before I started the Juice Plus, I blew into a tube that has a little ball in it, and that ball would only move 2 inches. But after a year of being on Juice Plus, they called me and told me, sit down, blow into the tube. So I'm thinking we're going to do the same thing. It's going to go 2 inches. But when I blew into that tube, that ball went to the back and split in half and popped out the top. And I'm sitting here looking, the doctor's looking, the nurse is looking, and we're all sitting there, what just happened? And they're looking at me and asking me, so what have you been doing over the year that you've been waiting to come for respiratory rehab? And I said, I have been eating Juice Plus. And when they asked me what it was, I just simply said fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I showed it to them, and they read the ingredients, and they gave it back to me, and it was like, don't ever stop eating this. Continue what you're doing. And by the way, you don't have COPD anymore. And I just looked at them like, huh? You kidding me? So I'm gonna tell you like this. For me, Juice Plus changed my entire life. It actually saved my life. And if it wasn't for my best friend, Adrian, I probably wouldn't be sitting here telling this story.
Wow.
Marla, I'm just holding my tears back. Guys, can you show some love for Marla in the chat?
Yes, yes.
That I'm like speechless. Listen, guys, I want you to understand, and that's why I said, Marla, I've had you on Saturday Night Tower Garden call, but I don't think I've had your story this far. I knew there was COPD involved, but I didn't know how powerful it was. Guys, we're not making any medical claims, okay? We're not saying that Juice Plus cures, heals, reverses, or restores. You've had Marla's story. She's a really person. You're not reading it on a magazine. You're watching her speak her story. So if you are at the fence and wondering, struggling with diabetes, her hemoglobin A1C came from 8.5. Kidneys waiting to fail, right? Down to 5.8. She's really on the normal range now. Blood pressure with a stroke impending. Now she has a teenager's blood pressure. Guys, nutrition is everything. The body knows what to do with itself. It heals. I'm just so blessed. Marla, I have one question to ask you. You started by telling us you were waiting to expire. Now you're thriving. How amazing is that? You told us you want 22 pills. I'm curious to know, how many medications are you on right now?
I'm actually on a blood pressure medicine. I'm on, I think I'm on maybe 3 pills now. One is the blood pressure. I still take 1 pill for diabetes, and they're about to alleviate that. I was at the doctor today, and they're trying to make a decision now on whether to take me off of that. And the other one, I believe, is for cholesterol. And the one for the cholesterol also has something that keeps my arteries from clogging up. Because what I didn't tell you is, before I started Juice Plus, also, I had to lay on a table for 8 hours because they had to run catheters through every blood vessel in my body because I had flatlined 3 times. So literally, from me eating all the garbage in my system and not eating anything healthy, like I said, I love sugar. Anything that would keep me up and I'm laughing, and I turned into a couch potato. I used to be real active, but I stopped. And as you get older, our metabolism slows down. So, but when I had to lay on that table and I could not move for 8 hours, I literally thought about why I was laying on that table. And when Adrian told me that there was a way for me to actually turn my health around, I was all for it. And right now, I realize we do this to ourselves, and there's so many people that are in the way that I was right now. There are people walking around and I didn't realize I had sugar for 3 years. And my cousin told me on the phone one day, please go to the doctor right now, because we were eating the same thing every day. And my cousin told me that their sugar was at 300. And I'm looking and I'm like, what? So when I went to the doctor the first time, and they said, yes, you are borderline diabetic right now. And then I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And didn't listen. And then my A1C was at 8.5. And I was about to be having to take insulin for the rest of my life. But like I said, this Juice Plus, these fruits and vegetable powders have turned my entire life around. And it's just simply by me eating properly. And you can eat yourself we eat ourselves into bad health.
Yeah.
But I was able to eat myself right back into good health.
Thank you so much, Marla. Thank you. Thank you. Your story is so powerful. I mean, it's crazy. Guys, do not give up on your friends. Don't give up on your family. Keep sharing with them. And that is why I started these stories of hope, because I don't want to see a friend or a family member get a heart attack or have kidney failure, things that we can prevent. And I feel guilty that I wish I had shared. So we're here to use these spaces as an opportunity to bring our friends, bring our family members, bring our coworkers, so we can educate each other. So when something is happening, you will not be like, I wish I mentioned. Better still, don't have them come to you and say, why didn't you ever tell me about this? That is the worst guilt ever. So we're going to stop there for Marla. Sister Wanda, you take it on for the same question, three-part question. What was your life like before Juice Plus? How did you find out about Juice Plus? And what is your life like right now? Take it away, sister.
Okay. So thank you so much, Marla. That's, I know you say a lot, drop the mic, so we can just drop the mic after you. So that was awesome. That was awesome. So I was first introduced to Juice Plus, or learned about the plant powders about 14 years ago at a nursing convention, and the vendors happened to be Beverly and Johnny Grandison. And so it took probably a year to 2 years, and I did purchase the products. It made sense to me, and the reason it made sense to me is I was fortunate enough to, I'm a farm girl, raised on a farm, so our diets were strictly what we grew. And we didn't grow potato chips, and we didn't grow all these other things, so we ate what we grew. And so my nursing school was a holistic nursing school, which was wonderful. And I didn't even know what that meant when I went into the program, but in the program, I realized, and I knew immediately that I had no children at the time, but I knew immediately that I was going to practice preventative care for myself and my family. I just knew that. So I never purchased vitamins, because I learned in my nursing program that vitamins were synthetic and were made in a lab. So I knew all of these things. So knowing all of that, you would think that I would have, 14 years ago, I would have jumped at getting on Juice Plus and taking it until now. Well, that is not the case. So life takes over. And so I think after meeting Beverly and Johnny, I believe that I remember I joined the business. I was in the business for probably 30 days, long enough for my family to say, it costs too much. That's ridiculous. There's no way that that can happen. And so the air in my balloon was let out. And I thought, you know what? I'm a nurse. I can support my family on my nursing salary. I don't need this. And so what I did do is I continued to take and to eat Juice Plus intermittently over all of that time. And I would probably about half and half. So there would be a year that I would pay for Juice Plus and eat Juice Plus, and then there might be a year that I didn't. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because April of 2021, so Beverly and I had remained, and Johnny had remained friends over the years. And so she would occasionally, send me an invite or what have you. And I had a personal life a hiccup. And about a week to 2 weeks after that, I received a text from her inviting me to a call. Normally I would just delete it and just keep going. So she invited me to a call, and I jumped on that call that night. And it was one of the becoming calls with women in business. And that was my turning point. And I said, why can't I do the business? I believe in the product. I need to get back on the product. And so in April of 2021, I joined the business and started. And what I will say is that I believe I've missed 2 days in the last year and 4 or 5 months of of eating my Juice Plus, and it has been a life changer for me. So before the consistency, I will say, I exercise, and as a nurse, you think you know everything. You think you know how to eat, etc. But being consistent for this year and a little, it's been a game changer for me. So things like, I will say this: I've never had a medical diagnosis. I have a 15-year-old grandson. I won't tell you my age, but I have a 15-year-old grandson. And I don't take or have never had, prescribed Western medicine prescribed to me. And I think that's a plus. I think that I think that's a gift, and being consistent over the last year. So my daughter, we were looking at pictures today. And so I had her take a picture of a skin item that I had on my skin when I started, because I said, I'm going to see if these plant powders really work, because I'm going to be consistent. And so I wish I had gotten the pictures out, and I'll have them for another time. But my skin is completely clear. I had an issue on my shoulder that it just would not heal. And so no medication. The only thing I've done different is being consistent with the Juice Plus. And after about 8 months, that area just completely healed itself. So now I exercise 5 to 6 days a week. I am up in the mornings at 5 a.m. I'm at the gym. I spin. I do high intensity training with 20-year-olds. And so I don't get tired. I don't take naps. I would say that I'm 95% plant-based with my diet. And it's interesting just to see my body transforming at this age and point in my life. So I can't say enough. I love it. We'll always eat these plant powders, and I have a tower garden, and actually I have 2 tower gardens. So it's just awesome.
Wow. Wanda, thank you so much. What did you all hear Wanda say? Ageless beauty, that's what she's displaying over here. Vitality at whatever age that she's not disclosing, but she is a grandmother. So, and the other thing you had even from Marla is the consistency. It's not like you want to eat salad today and you go for 2 weeks without eating salad. It's the consistency so that you can be able to see the results.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Wanda, many people tell us, well, I don't have an illness. I am fine. I eat well. I have all this. Wanda is a perfect example. No ailments, but because she knows about holistic care, and I didn't know there was a nursing program with that. I should have gone to one of those. So just having that knowledge and having taken care of herself all these years, but after adding this, I don't know how old she is, but she's hitting the gym. She's doing high intensity training. What is doing that? Juice Plus is giving her the vitality. She's getting the energy that she needs. Her cells are just rejuvenated.
Yes.
Guys,
yes.
there is nothing good nutrition cannot do for you. You can see the contrast here. Marla, who literally was a time bomb walking around, to look at her, even her skin glows. Have you seen COPD patients, how they look like, Ahashi and everything? But you look at her, looking amazing. So guys, there's nothing good nutrition cannot do. And from what both of them have shared, that consistency, this acts as a catalyst, so that way you can do better. It allows your body to start craving for better things. So if you've been struggling in doing more plants, this is the easier way to get started. And before you know it, just like myself, I never knew I can go a month without eating meat and I don't miss it, but I can. I didn't know how many types of beans were out here until I said, let me try this thing. And now I can have ice cream in the freezer and don't even touch it for months. The sweet craving is not there. So it gives you a body what it needs to thrive, guys. You know what? We can talk about this until just comes. I have one last question, Marla and Wanda. You've kind of touched on it a little bit, but what, Marla, you can start with this, or Wanda, let me start with you, and Marla can finish up. Now, you say you listen to the Becoming Women in Business, and you said you want to do this. What really inspired you to start doing the business? You are a nurse. You can go and do your doubles, especially now people are traveling, making $10,000 a week. You could do that and have the money that you need. But what really inspired you to do this business and be a part of this community? And what has this benefited you so far in the last 1 year you've been doing the business?
So when I decided I needed community, I needed a distraction, and I needed to be connected with other people. And that was what I needed. And that's exactly what I like. I don't know you, Josephine, but I vaguely remember you from St. Louis. But I've seen you, and I've heard you, and I know your story, and I know your children's story. So I feel like, you know, we're friends. Same thing with Marla. I talk to Marla sometimes once a week on her weekly call. So it's having community. It's having, I say family, because I feel like we're all family. So it's having family. So that's what I've gotten. So when I did decide to join the business very quickly, I told Beverly, I said, my son was coming for the summer. And I said, we have a Airbnb on the beach in Jacksonville, Florida. And I said, I'm going to see if I can make enough to pay for that week's vacation. And if that happens, then I might do more. If it doesn't happen, then I won't. I think I was about $100 shy. But because I work in the community anyway, for the 30 plus years that I've been a nurse, I'm always in churches educating. This is just a catalyst for me to incorporate into what I was already teaching and empowering my community with, and advocating for my community. Yeah. And teaching people how to advocate for them.
So you have another tool in your toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful. And you see, this is not a lie, because every week you are here. The one thing that is very consistent is community. Some of us say this is our therapy, happy space, free therapy, right? Wanda says a good distraction, not a bad one. The connection, and it's beautiful. Marla, what are you gonna say? Why, Adrian got you back on track for your health, and why did you decide to do this, and why are you still here 6 years later?
Well, basically for me, it's not even about the money. After I saw what it did for me, it's the fact that I needed to tell everybody else around me what they needed to do for themselves, because like I said, there are 100,000 me walking around and that don't know, just like I didn't know, what plant-based nutrition can do for your body. So I decided to join the business because I need to share this with everyone in my community. I know a lot of people, and by me knowing a lot of people, this is not a secret that you keep. This company had been a secret for over 25 years. So once they opened it up and let us in, it's something that every community, every living creature needs Juice Plus. I gave it to a friend of mine's dog. The dog was 14 years old, and the dog's liver started failing, kidneys started failing. And I told her, I said, listen, put this in the water. The dog drank it. I said, sprinkle it in his food. In 2 weeks, that dog was running around like a puppy. And we continued to give it. That dog just passed this year at 16 and a half years old. My nephew gives it to the birds, his parakeets. The parakeets now all come out of the cage on their own and fly around in the house and get back in. Kids, my grandniece gave it to her. She never took a piano lesson in her life. Sat down, kept watching YouTube, learned to play by ear. What this does for people's minds, omegas do for your mind, and what Juice Plus does for your body is phenomenal. And the consistency, it's all about the consistency. So for me, it's bigger than the money. It's about how many people can we get back on the right track. Juice Plus is like going back to the Garden of Eden. You're supposed to graze with the animals, not kill them and eat them. This is what the business is about. Let's take everybody back to the beginning because we have learned so many bad habits. We need to retrain human race. Retrain. Big pharma is making money off of keeping people sick. I was one of them. Some of my medications cost $900. Well, that burden is gone.
Yes.
Because the only thing I eat now is Juice Plus. My mother is about to turn 90 in 2 weeks.
Oh.
She takes nothing but Juice Plus. She has nothing wrong with her. Funny thing, I take her to the doctor for wellness checks every 3 months. And the doctor says to me, well, I can't give her anything because I can't find anything. So I told her, you keep the bill to yourself.
Yes.
We're doing all the work.
Wow.
And now the 3 month checkups have gone to 6 months now. So anybody that's on this call that does not understand the ramifications of putting fresh fruits and vegetables in your body, you need to try it. You've tried everything else. Try this.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Wanda. There's nothing to lose but to give it a try. Juice
That's
Plus
right.
really needs to be a household name because each one of us has had Coca-Cola in our house. We've had some sort of, juices in our houses. So Juice Plus needs to be a household name globally. Marla, you hit it on the nail. We're all on a mission. This is really, to me, it's Ministry of Health. We're helping others to be healthy. We're helping others to enjoy healthy living lives, optimal life. I just never knew what health felt like until I flooded my body with Juice Plus to have the energy I have. I mean, I'm 52 years young. And I've never felt amazing like I do now. In my 30s and 40s, I was just like dragging myself, fatigued all the time. And the vitality I have, my family sometimes don't understand. It's like, what are you doing? What do you do? I tell them just fruits and vegetables. You need to eat this, and it's the reality. And yes, Marla, it's not about the money. But guess what, guys? Our paycheck is a reflection of the lives that you're changing. So the more people you help to be healthy, the more money gets in your account. So the company pays us for doing good. Where else do you get paid for doing good? We clock in, work hard, and then you get your paycheck. Yeah, but if you're sick or disabled, there's no check that comes in. So when you're doing this business over time, there's a residual income. So we get paid for doing good. We bring more people along with us who have the mission and the vision of helping other people. And we form a community. And like Wanda said, we really have never met, but here we are doing this together. And we're not gaining from each other financially, but we're here because we value what we have found and we cannot keep it a secret. Like Marla said, we want everybody to know about this. And listen, you have family and friends that Marla, Wanda, myself, and anybody on the call doesn't know. You are the only one that knows them. That's your line of connection. So what if you said yes and to be able to impact that line? Can you see the ripple effect? So what if you say yes to the product and have your health change or your family's health? Marla was paying $100 for one medication. The Juice Plus does not even cost a quarter of that money per month. Myself was spending $400 a month on medications for myself and my son. Now I spend $156 a month on the entire Juice Plus for the family. Can you see how much we're saving? We are in a sick care community. I'm a nurse for 25 years. Each 5 years, I see the healthcare system just going down the drain. It is a business industry. We are left to ourselves to take care of our families and ourselves. So if you're ignorant nutritionally or health-wise, you're jeopardizing your health and that of your family. It's time to think outside the box. It's time to take charge of our health. Otherwise, you can pay later heavily, or you pay now by starting to take baby steps. Marla and Wanda, do you have any parting shots? One last thing you want to say before I stop the recording and we call it a night? I know, guys, we've gone over a little bit, but these stories were amazing.
Josephine, I do have something I want to share with you guys.
Please.
Remember when I said we need to retrain everybody? Well, we now have what is called Food for Thought Shred 10, and it's a 6-week program, and everybody's welcome to join. Bring your friends and family, and let's retrain and break these bad habits and get people on the right track. First of all, your kids, everybody on here said they had grandkids. Well, guess what? Your kids are the ones that are supposed to take care of you. And at the rate these kids are going with drinking soda every day, that's 32 grams of sugar. Eating cereal, that's 25 grams of sugar. Sugar is the root of all illness.
Yes.
Milk, dairy is the place where bacteria goes to sit and feed off of that sugar. So your kids at this rate will not be alive to take care of you if you don't break these habits now. I'm living proof of how I was eating. And if your kids are eating like I eat, like I was eating 6 years ago, there's no one coming to your rescue because they're not going to be here to take care of you. So you need to get started on yourself and get started on them breaking these habits.
You're so right, Marla, because the obesity rate in adolescents and children is staggering. The number of children who are being diagnosed with diabetes, it is mind-boggling, and it's not a safe thing, especially in our Black community. We need to step up, and yes, we need to shred these bad habits. Thank you, Marla, for that. That's a huge charge. And if you're invited to this call, you're a guest, please put it in the comments who invited you. And if we would like to connect you with the Shred program so you can support yourself and support your family and those that you know. Sister Wanda, any parting words?
No, I think everything has been said. Just love on someone. So love them enough to share. Yes.
Love them enough to share. Beverly and Johnny loved you for 14 years, and here you are. My sponsor loved me for 1 year, and here I am. So do not give up on your friends and family. I guess that's the message tonight. And Adrienne, thank you so much for having shared with Marla, and now she can beautifully minister to all of us. I was blessed tonight. Thank you, everyone, and we can call it a night. Appreciate you all, and the recording will be available so it can be shared.